I am East Baltimore. I'm originally from East Baltimore, at least most of my formative years. While born in West Baltimore, we moved as a youngster to East Baltimore, where all of my schooling actually took place. So I'm a real resident of this community and have a long-term commitment. My undergraduate studies kept me in the East Side, where I finished Morgan University with a degree in economics. I was fortunate enough to be selected for a special banking program in New York at Chemical Bank, which is now JP Morgan Chase. And after 5 years on Wall Street, I returned back to Baltimore City, but I returned with an advanced degree in finance and economics. I returned to Baltimore, incidentally coming outside of banking, but returned to become the vice president of business and finance at Coppin State College, then now university. And while there, became involved with a group that was trying to get a bank launched, and the representatives who were engaged in that process learned about my banking background and financial background and asked me to get involved. My focus in coming into banking and leaving the investment arena is a part of a theme that I wanted to follow up on, or a mission that I had to bring access to capital to minority-owned businesses and to the minority community. And the community that I grew up in, which is Northeast Baltimore, the Cecil Avenue community, there was a strong community identity. People were employed, and they were employed meaningfully. I lived in a community where 90% of the adults, especially the males, went off to work, many employed at firms like Bethlehem Steel Company and the Chevrolet plant. And some worked in and around the docks of the city. However, I will tell you that it was interesting to note that there was such an emphasis on education, and virtually all of the individuals in and around my age were college bound. It was sort of an understood next step to take. And so it wasn't a question of going to college, it was where you were going to go. And where you were going to go wasn't determined as much by your ability to perform, but as much about your affordability, whether you could afford to go. Some of the things that plague Baltimore City, and to be very specific about it, the riots of 1968 was a major impacting turning point. One, so many of the businesses, especially smaller businesses that were support parts of the infrastructure of the business, were devastated and never really fully revived. In addition to that, many of the African Americans who had the ability to be able to relocate started the locations outside of the city guidelines, and so we saw a considerable migration of what one would define as sort of middle-income individuals from the Baltimore City into the suburban communities. I think not only is East Baltimore in a great position to move forward, but I think Baltimore City is at the beginning of what I think will be a new renaissance. You have great talent coming through the track, and I just think that in time we're going to see, maybe not quite as quickly as we'd like, but I believe that within the next couple of years we'll see the results of some of these initiatives.